Tonight, minority in parliament threatened to withdraw from anti-vigilantism dialogue unless the president releases the Emil Short Commission report on the Ayawaso West Wuogon violence.
This is a call extended to the president to do the honorable thing by publishing the Emil Short Commission's report. If he does that, the minority will definitely take part actively in the deliberations. But if he fails to,
the group is also alleging recruitment of MPP functionaries to head district offices of the BNI.
Government has recruited its own party functionaries into the state security institutions to chase the opposition leadership out of their seats. In my constituency, New Patriotic Party's youth organizer is in charge of BNI. Now you say I should regard him as my BNI boss.
This is Top Story with Evans Mensah.
And Top Story is always brought to you by Bond Savings and Loans. Your success, our passion, also brought to you by Gasem Cement, the Nation Builder, Vodafone. The future is exciting, ready, and Nationwide Health Insurance, your healthcare family. The minority in Parliament is tonight warning it will be forced to withdraw from all talks leading to the consideration and passage of the anti-vigilantism bill. In fact, they are threatening this to the extent of even withdrawing from the conversations ongoing surrounding the bill, but also surrounding the voluntary disbandment of political party militias. Now, they want government to publish in the short report on the investigations into the Ayawaso West Wuogon parliamentary by-election as soon as possible, or else they will be forced to withdraw. Now, President Akufo-Addo took custody of the reports in March, but had yet to make known the contents and recommendations of the report. The president has 6 months within which he may cause to be published the report. The ranking member on the Defense and Interior Committee, James Agaga, at a news conference, speaking on behalf of the minority, said the consideration of the bill without inputs of the Emil Short Committee report will render the exercise fruitless.
we are very clear in our minds that the president has 6 months within which to submit the report. But again, we are very clear in our minds that there are very compelling reasons why the report must be published now. Remember that there is before us the Vigilantism and Related Offences Bill. Parliament is being stampeded to pass that bill under a certificate of urgency. In fact, a few days ago, the president is reported to have stated that Parliament must pass the bill by the end of June. When the president made that statement, the ranking member for the Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee, our committee, had a lot to say in rebuttal to the president's directive, because it is not the place of the president to issue directives to Parliament. Parliament is not an extension of the Jubilee House. Parliament is very independent. It is a separate arm of government. But given the fact that we are saddled with a bill on vigilantism, a bill that is aimed at ending politically related violence, how is it that Parliament is being stampeded to rush such a bill through without recourse to the Emil Short Commission's report, which was a task to investigate those same issues? Did the commission come out with recommendations? Are the recommendations known to you, the public, the media? From where we sit, we don't know of any recommendations. And so we're saying that, look, it is in the interest of all of us that the Commission's report is published, so that as the Parliament of the Republic of Ghana, we can be guided to pass a well-informed bill into law. Parliament is actually an institution of record. And so if it is the case that the vigilantism bill emanates directly from the Emile Short Commission's report, that must be said. The president cannot exercise his discretion in this matter by withholding the report from us, notwithstanding the fact that he's operating within the 6-month time frame. If they want us to wait for the 6 months to elapse, then let nobody rush us to pass the vigilantism bill by the end of June.
Well, they say their participation in the consideration of the bill hinges largely on the publication of that Emile Short report. Listen to Inusa Fuseni, who is the ranking member on the Legal and Constitutional Committee, but also James Agaga himself.
This is a call extended to the president to do the honorable thing by publishing the Emile Short Commission's report. If he does that, the minority will definitely take part actively in the deliberations. But if he fails to publish the content of the report, the decision to take part in the deliberations or not is going to be taken at the level of leadership. And so for now, we will not want to disclose what strategies are up our sleeves. Yes. When the time comes, we shall advise ourselves appropriately. Most of the civil society organizations that appeared before the committee and presented memoranda were all completely lost as to why the president would rush a bill of this nature and the certificate of agency and not publish the report of the Emile Short Commission. So they all made calls, strenuous calls, at the level of the committee to advise the government to do the honorable thing by causing the report of the commission to be published. So these are matters that are even captured in the memoranda that are before the committee.
Why do you go for half-baked solutions?
Yes.
Why do we go for half-baked solutions to dealing with vigilantism? It shows clearly that a certain lack of commitment on the part of government in dealing with the issue, or seriousness, or some level of dishonesty. Because we are also aware that some persons are being integrated into the security services, which persons were hitherto part of vigilante groups. So the mandatory disbandment of vigilante groups, is the president intending it to be effective and bring an end to that canker? Now, but why will you want to stampede the work of the Peace Council when it is you yourself who call them to action?
That's what it is.
Parliament, and that's why we are raising these issues. Parliament should not be seen as working to overreach the mandate of another institution.
And I want to bring in the ranking member on the Constitutional Legal Affairs Committee in Parliament, Mr. Inusa Fuseni, who is also the minority spokesperson on legal and constitutional matters on this one. We'll also be speaking shortly with the chair of this committee that is looking at the anti-vigilantism bill. Mr. Fuseni, thank you for your time here on Top Story.
Thank you, and how are you?
I'm fantastic, sir. Now, your call today for the publication of the Emile Short Committee report. You are a lawyer. You know what the Constitution says about such commissions of inquiry. The law is the law. The president has 6 months. 6 months hasn't expired yet, and you're making this demand on him.
We are making the demand based on an informed position. The President commissioned the Commission of Inquiry into the Iowa West Wagon constituency by elections, violence, by reason of the fact that Ghanaians were appalled of the violence that took place over there. And so the President, through the Vice President, set up a committee. Now, the committee or the Commission has concluded its work and made recommendations. findings and recommendations. Now, while the President admittedly has 6 months within which to publish the report, the President has brought to Parliament a bill to deal with vigilantism. All stakeholders who have come before the committee have indicated that the publication of the report would have assisted the committee in fashioning out a legal regime that could deal with the vigilantism. And so, yes, the President has 6 months, but the President was in a hurry to bring a bill to Parliament without first reading the Commission of Inquiry's report. And we are saying that insofar as the President is in a haste to deal with vigilantism, he should be in a haste to publish the report so that while we consider the provisions of the bill, it can be informed by the findings and recommendations of the Commission of Inquiry. That is just the issue that we have raised.
So your point is you need it to enrich the bill before you, fundamentally. That's your point.
That's the point, fundamental. That's the point.
Yes, okay. But this is a bill. The two are not the same. They are separate entities governed by separate laws. You know that. I mean, the bill you're considering, of course, I mean, that's your claim. But the Parliament's work is simply to do the job of passing bills into law. If the President decides to assent to it, he will. Are you at the point yet of passing this law? Because I know the conversations are ongoing. Is it still a case that you should pass this under certificate of urgency?
The report of the committee might be taken tomorrow, and after the report is taken, we will go into the clause-by-clause consideration of the bill. The Committee on Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs have worked on the bill. But we have said that, yes, even in working on the bill, we are constrained as to certain provisions in the bill and what to do with those provisions in the light of the fact that the Commission of Inquiry's report was not out. Now, yes, Parliament's work is to pass laws, is to make laws for the country. But Parliament must not be seen to be working in such a way as to frustrate other institutions of state working towards achieving the same object that Parliament is working to achieve. And so we said that the Peace Council is meeting the two parties. They've signed a communique. They have also signed onto the Code of Conduct. I listened to Dr. SKB Asante say that the outcome of the Peace Council deliberations might help in fashioning out legislation. Now, they have not yet finished their work, and we are at the stage of considering the bill. Now, if we do consider the bill and pass it into law, what becomes of the efforts of the National Peace Council? It dies a natural death.
Why?
Because there will be a mandatory disbandment. Mandatory, legislative.
But it can also be complementary, even if you have a law. If the parties say, if the parties even commit to respecting and observing the tenets of the law, and that, yes, we acknowledge the law exists, but we are taking our own voluntary initiatives to disband what we have, and therefore anybody else who is found to harbor these guys, the law then should go ahead and deal with them. That could be complementary.
I'm saying that when the law is passed, the law is binding on the Republic of Ghana, and all persons within the Republic are bound by the law. You don't have an election if a law is passed.
No, but back
if a law is passed and names the vigilante groups, you cannot afford to be keeping vigilante groups contrary to the law. If the law is passed and then the persons are arrested pursuant to the law, you cannot say you won't respond to the law because you have not voluntarily signed on to respecting the tenets of the law.
Mr. Fuseni, but back to the point about making the publication of the Ayawaso West Wagon Commission report a precondition for your participation in the process to pass the bill.
It's not a precondition. We're just saying that if the president is committed, serious, and really dedicated to the declared intention of disbanding vigilante groups, the publication of the Commission of Inquiry report will greatly assist the Parliament in fashioning out a legal regime that will meet the legitimate and reasonable expectations.
I say that because I heard your colleague, James Agaga, make the point that if that is not done, they won't have a choice than to withdraw from the process.
Well, that has not come to me yet.
So for you, it's not a precondition. You should continue with the process. You participate.
That decision will have to be taken by leadership. I understood the press conference to mean that we want to help government to pass a law that will deal decisively with vigilantism. And that being the case, we think that the publication of the Commission of Inquiry report will greatly assist the work of Parliament.
But even to that substantive matter you raise, you're using a very thorough process right now to enrich the bill, which is you've invited a memoranda from the public. You've gotten many, including even meeting with the political parties. I've seen the NDC memoranda, very detailed memoranda they've written to you. Other civil society groups have done same. Are you saying that all that is inadequate to get you to a point where you can pass a very, very good, rich law for this country, and that without the report, that will be lacking?
And Evans, all the memoranda that we have received also deplored the situation in which we were, where the Commission of Inquiry's report had not been published, and we're considering the details of the bill. All the memoranda. In fact, the memoranda from the document from the Catholic Secretariat even, said they were dismayed at the process because they thought that the publication of the Commission of Inquiry report would precede the laying of the bill. So yes, we are working on the bill. In fact, on Friday last week, I was part of Igalaga was part of the process. All the members of NDC were part of the process that looked at the bill clause by clause. But we're just saying that in order to enrich the bill on the floor of the House, if we have the publication of the Commission of Inquiry report, that would greatly facilitate the exercise. That's just what we're saying.
So a direct question. If you do not get that report published, and the president had said, and it looks, I don't like it that you will not, because the president has said he will not be stampeded into publishing that report. If you don't get it, will you still give that bill your blessing?
Well, that is the decision of leadership. But so far, I don't have any indication that leadership will ask us to withdraw. I don't have that indication. But I'm saying that, and now let me repeat, that we are not against the passage of the vigilantism bill or the banning vigilante groups in this country. We have said that we should be mindful not to pass a law that will simply be Bultun-Fulmen, tender that more, and that we should ensure that all resources available to us to ensure that we fashion out a legal regime that will deal decisively with this matter is made available to us. And so, in the absence of a Commission of Inquiry report, in the absence of a conclusive decision arrived at the National Peace Council, the absence of these two will greatly deprive the Parliament of key insights that have been garnered by these commissions and these bodies in looking at the issue. And that is what we are just saying. That these insights would have enriched the bill. The absence will deprive and deny the bill of those insights.
Okay, but in the absence does not mean you will not help, you will not give it his blessing.
We have participated throughout the process.
And you will participate even without it?
And we will continue to participate.
Even without it? And so you are on the committee that is directly shepherding this particular bill. Where are you in the process? Is it you say he's coming to Parliament tomorrow? You said?
Yeah, by the information I was given yesterday, the report ought to be taken tomorrow, and thereafter. So when the report is taken tomorrow, we will debate the report and then set a date for the consideration of the clauses of the bill. But we could also the report could also be taken tomorrow, and then because a 10-clause bill, we might decide to just go ahead and pass it into law. We have worked on the bill. We have made substantial changes on the bill, and so just based on our own understanding of the issue or problem that government is trying to deal with, and so to be able to assure ourselves that we are on firm ground, we are firmly grounded in the things that we have done, we thought and we believe that the publication of the report will greatly facilitate that.
And one of the key things that came up from the memoranda you invited was a request to change the title of the bill. Has that changed at all?
That has not changed. So, but what we have done is to try to define vigilantism within the Ghanaian context.
Okay.
Because we realize that vigilantism has positive and negative connotations. And so we try to define it in the Ghanaian context and within the political party regime to mean one and only one particular thing.
I'm grateful that you joined us. Yunusuf Hussaini is a ranking member on the Legal Constitutional Affairs Committee in Parliament. Also at this press conference that the minority addressed, the group also alleged recruitment of the governing MPP functionaries to head district offices of the Bureau of National Investigations, BNI, across the country. Now, Deputy Minority Whip Ahmed Ibrahim, who is also the MP for Banda in the Bono East region, says the development is compromising the independence of the state investigative body.
I'm in leadership. Mutaka is in leadership. Government has recruited its own party functionaries into the state institutions, security institutions, to chase the opposition leadership out of their seats. In my constituency, the National New Patriotic Party's youth organizer is in charge of BNI. Somebody in 2016, I was campaigning, was a party youth organizer. Now you say I should regard him as BNI boss. He comes before me, oh, honorable, now I've changed. How can I be confident that you have changed? You were campaigning from the other side. You were campaigning for NPP as a youth organizer. I was campaigning for NDC as a parliamentary candidate. You won. Your party has made you the head of BNI in my constituency. So when I come and sit you in DISEC, what confidence am I going to have? You come to the chief whip, Mutaka's constituency. The special aide to the DCE is the head of BNI. These are issues we are talking of. So, frankly, colleagues, quiet. Don't look at it as if it's just a minor issue. And that is why the police, the BNI, the security institutions are compromised. That's why you see all the vices every day. They can't, even the police themselves are infiltrated. They can't come together and hold a security meeting without being leaked to the vigilantes. These are, the BNI is infiltrated, the police are infiltrated, the military are infiltrated, and you say we should pass a national vigilantism law. Today, what were we doing in Parliament? It is not enough to rush to pass a law. We want to work hard. Let's pass a law. It's not enough to rush to pass a law. You must pass quality law. Law that can regulate the behavior of the citizenry. Law is not just grammar. Law is both behavioral and attitudinal.
Well, government has denied these claims that BNI officers party officers have been appointed as district heads of the BNI. There's a categorical denial of that tonight as well. I want to join us for News 9 in 5 minutes because the main opposition, NDC, is demanding the resignation of the deputy chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Dr. Bosman Asare, insisting his continued stay at the EC makes it impossible for the party to trust the commission. We'll tell you why.
The commission, on the blind side of political parties, have gone to engage another The commission, on the blind side of political parties, have gone to engage another company whose owners have political affiliations in this country. And they are going to control this key.